Hey YouTube, it's Rish Sheehan. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment on my videos. Question: what does Ann Coulter, Rush Limbaugh, and ATLien have in common? They all three know how to manipulate a compromised individual. Now, what do I mean by that? Ann Coulter and Rush Limbaugh are talk show provocateurs. They have been for quite some time. And they are provocateurs on the right side. They're right-winged propagandists. They are two right-wing propagandists that because they knew what to say to manipulate Trump shut down the government weeks ago. Longest shutdown in U.S. history. Okay. So this is an article from the Washington Post dated December 22nd, 2018. And the title, "This is Tyranny of Talk Show Hosts," right? Limbaugh and Coulter blame for Trump's shutdown. Now, I am not going to read this whole thing to you, but let me just read the first couple of paragraphs. Portions of the federal government shut down at midnight Friday after President Trump said he would refuse to sign a stopgap funding measure without money for his proposed U.S.-Mexico border wall. Trump initially threatened a shutdown if he did not receive $5 billion in funding for the wall, stating he'd be proud to do so in the name of border security. So let me stop right there. Everybody remember that conversation he had with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer in the Oval Office? They told him, Nancy Pelosi told him, listen, you do not want to have this conversation in front of the media. You really don't want to do that. And Trump being Trump, yes, he did, because he likes to be. He is not satisfied unless he has either a phone in front of him and he's tweeting for attention, or he's got a camera in his face. And so he said he would own the Trump. He actually even called it the Trump government shutdown. That's what he called it. Okay, but of course, right-wing pundits, including and especially him. Now even when during the shutdown, they tried to blame it on the Democrats. Nobody was buying that. But I digress. The article goes on to say the White House appeared to back down from the position on Tuesday, showing support for a short-term spending measure that did not contain wall money, but would have kept the government open until February 8th. On Thursday, the president changed course again, asserting that he refused to sign a funding bill that didn't provide money for the border wall, prompting the shutdown. So what caused Trump to flip back? Some have suggested that he bowed to backlash from high-profile conservative pundits, notably Ann Coulter and Rush Limbaugh, who lambasted the president for appearing to concede on the wall funding. On his radio talk show Wednesday, Limbaugh said the president was getting ready to cave on getting money for the wall in the budget. It's a textbook example of what the drive-by media calls compromise, Limbaugh said. Trump gets nothing and the Democrats get everything, including control of the House. Let me stop right there. How did the Democrats get control of the House? Rush. Weren't they voted in? Let me continue. Coulter, during a podcast on the Daily Caller, another right-wing pundit site, said Trump's White House would become a joke presidency that scammed the American people if he didn't build the wall, adding that he'll have no legacy whatsoever. She also wrote a scathing column about the president and launched a flurry of criticism on Twitter. Now, they knew exactly what to say to manipulate Trump, who has proven time and time again he's compromised. Putin knew it. Saudis know it. Kim Jong-un knows it. Everybody knows it. He's compromised. He's compromised. And so they knew what to say to manipulate him to affect 800,000 people. Okay. FYI, some of those folks still have not received their back pay. So let's talk about ATLien. Andrew was in Atlanta for this BET social media event. Okay. He has a big following, so I get it. He met up with ATLien, who every time they're together, she says enough, just enough to manipulate him into him saying way too much. Now, the bad thing about this is that Andrew likes to talk, but he doesn't think about what he's saying. And the conversation came up about, well, they started talking about T.S. Madison, ATLien, and Andrew. Never a good look at all. So this morning when I got up and checked my YouTube feed, I see Maddie, T.S. Madison, has posted something. And so I'm watching. She's getting a facial. And I so desperately need one of those. Ooh. Anyway, so she's going off and says Andrew by name, calls him out by name, and says, and I quote, "Andrew, when I see you, I'm going to slap the shit out of you." And I'm like, oh. She wouldn't even mention ATLien. She wouldn't even say ATLien's name. Wouldn't even say it. Had some choice words for ATLien, but she wouldn't even say ATLien's name. Called her Gary Coleman lookalike. Not too long after that, Andrew went live and said, "You know what? I'm in maintenance." That's what he said. "I'm in maintenance. If I've said anything to hurt anybody's feelings, I apologize. You know, my brother, Mike Epps, pulled me to the side, you know, and checked me on some things." No, T.S. Madison checked you, and it didn't take long for people to let you know in your live, T.S. Madison is coming for that ass. That's all that was. T.S. Madison is coming for that ass. You allow Michelle ATLien to manipulate you. And I'm not going to say her whole name because she sues people, gets people's channels shut down, all kind of stuff. She's one of the most, I don't mess around with her. It's just too messy for me. And I get YouTube YouTube is like one huge reality show. One huge reality show. Everybody that has a channel has their own opinion. They have their own idea for content and they put it out there. But it's their reality, their world. But what I've seen in these YouTube streets when it comes to that particular person, I'm good. I'm good. But every time Andrew gets with her, she manipulates him to talk too much. She knows Andrew is compromised, and she manipulates the situation. No different than Ann Coulter and Rush Limbaugh. All three of them know exactly what they're doing. Now, even though ATLien does not affect people the way Ann Coulter and Rush Limbaugh have affected people, because people don't understand, or now they're starting to come to maybe. I don't get it. But when you have 800,000 people's money, messing with 800,000 people's money for, and what's that dude's name? Wilbur Ross, who's supposed to be like head of the commerce, talking about, oh, that's just a small amount, that doesn't really affect the economy. Man, are you serious? I'm telling you, listen to him if you want to. But when you do that, the ripple effects throughout the economy, the only people that don't feel it are that 1%. So no, I mean, ATLien has not caused 800,000 people to miss out on checks. No, she hasn't. But is she as manipulative? She knows what she's doing when it comes to a compromised individual. And Trump is just as compromised as Andrew Caldwell. He is just as compromised. As far as, when I say he's compromised, what I mean by that is he has to constantly be in front of some kind of device that gets him attention. Constantly. He's got to constantly tweet about the most asinine things. He has to constantly be stroked. He has to constantly be on the TV. Be it in front of a camera. He's got to constantly be in people's face. Constantly. And you can say, well, he's the president. What other president do you know did that? We won't even talk about Obama. Did Bush do that? Let me just use a Republican. Let me use a Republican president that was a movie star at one point. Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan didn't do that. And I am not a fan of Ronald Reagan, but he didn't do that. He was bedtime for Bonzo. He was an actor. He was in front of cameras constantly when he was in the movies. So, and even he didn't do that. Now you're going to say, well, they didn't have Twitter back then, but they had TV back then. He didn't do that. Ronald Reagan didn't even do that. But Trump does it constantly. Andrew does the same thing. He's got to constantly be on TV, constantly be going on live. He's constantly lying, constantly apologizing, and then constantly coming back and lying. He has got to stay. He continues to do stuff to stay on everybody's radar. Trump's doing the same thing. And those are people that know it, know how to manipulate the situation. Putin, Iran, the Saudis, Kim Jong-un, the Japanese president. People that know how to manipulate Trump have been. And Kim Jong-un recently, he manipulated Trump so bad. And of course, the right wing is nope. And now the right wing is blaming Cohen and the Democrat. No, I'm sorry, not the right wing, but Trump is blaming Cohen and the Democrats for the reason why the talks in Vietnam broke down. Some days it just gets to be too much.